Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. The first video of my little Custom Amiibo Month. And first on the list is a custom with the Octoling Boy amiibo. So I've got a plan, so let's get started. First, as with any amiibo, comes taking it apart. If you want, you can even take off the ink backpack from the Octolings, but it was a problem for me for this custom amiibo. I also wanted to take the figure off the base, but the glue was so strong that I couldn't get it off without probably damaging the figure. So I'll just have to look out for that when I'm painting. But luckily the Octobrush came off without any problem. And as the first step, as always, is the base coat. For this I chose the white, since I'm going to go over it with some natural green, so the base coat has to be very light. For the ink, the tentacles and the weapon on the amiibo I use 2 to 3 coats of white, and the skin, which I want to have a little bit see-through, I only use 1 coat of white. And with the completed base coat we get this. I even put in a little scar as to show that he has a lot of adventures down at the Deep Sea Metro. Next up is the Octobrush, which I'm going to give an Octarian makeover. I searched around, but there isn't any official Octarian Octobrush. So I made my own design using the color palette of a black base with red and metal designs. Excuse me that the camera was constantly hanging above me and I didn't check it every damn minute. But now that we have all of the base coats ready, it's time to put some color on. First, I started with the dark blue for the tentacles. After I got those areas covered, I started on the greens. First I used some natural green on the end of the tentacles and proceeded to add some dark blue back to it to get the fade from the green to the blue that the tentacles always have. And normally I would add the rings to the tentacles with a lighter green color, but these were so little that they weren't even on the original amiibo, so I'm going to save these for the Octoling Girl and the Octopus amiibo. Then I used a mixture of natural green and dark green to get a base color for the sanitized ink. I used this on the ink on the ground as well as in the ink tank and on the Octarian brush. And I even added a little wound on his knee to give the hint as where the infection started on the Octoling. and I added more layers until I got an even coverage on all surfaces. After I got further with the sanitized layers, I started to work on the skin color. For this I went over the one layer of white with the natural green. Due to the fact that the white and green don't cover very well, you get the effect that it shows the original skin color of the amiibo, which is precisely what I wanted. I went over it with 2 to 3 layers of green to get over the difference in the white layer. And I used the natural green over the ink to get a first of the green variants in there. Then I went over the ink with some dark green veins. But of course, my camera would shut down when I was right about to start adding the skin color for the suction cups and the underside of the tentacles. So this is where we are now. I've already added the skin color details on the tentacles, and I've also added a very dark gray to the eyes to work as a base. And I also already added the red details on the Octarian brush. So, let's continue with those. And when we have to let the red rest for a bit, ooh, that was hard to say, we can add some silver details. Yes, also on the details that are already silver. We do have to make it the same color. Octobrush dry, we can work on the eyes. And then when I'm done with the eyes, I can take my attention to the final layer of sanitized ink. Just to make sure I haven't left any parts non-painted. Then to add the pupils. And then to add a mistake while painting the pupils. And then as a final part, I went over the eyes, the tentacles and all of the ink with a glossy finish. And this part is optional, but I wanted to include a sanitized hypno shade. For this I used some good old 1mm foam to make the shades. Then I went over them with some black for a base coat. And when that was dry, I glued them to the amiibo. And for the final part I added some red details like the shining red eye and off camera the red edge that I had forgotten. And for the final step I can add the Octarian brush back to the amiibo, get some red layers on, put a shine finish on the Hypno Shades, and then the custom Sanitized Octoling Boy amiibo is ready. Man, why are all those tiles so long?